Hey, what's up? John Sonmez here from simpleprogrammer.com. So I actually recorded this video. This happens to me all the fucking time. I hate it. As I recorded this video earlier when I did my run earlier today, ran 10 miles, was not feeling too good. Recorded on my iPhone, walking down the street, one of those videos which I like. Some interesting interactions with people on the way too. I thought it was going to be a fun video. Somehow, when I went to copy the video to my computer, it disappeared. Don't ask me. I don't know. I looked and I couldn't find it. So corruption error. I have no freaking clue. But you know, that's what happens. That's life, right? But I thought I would still make the video because I think the topic is pretty important, which is that when you get lazy, remember who you were and where you were before. So when I was out running today, I was having a bit of a struggle getting my run on, right? Now I'd been out for a little bit, I had a little bit of an injury, couldn't really run, and so I had about 2 weeks of downtime where I really couldn't run or lift, and I got back into it. I did a video talking about me getting back into it, getting back on the horse, not making excuses. You can check that out while I was in Florida. And I'm back now, and I'm running, and I'm getting my running back up, but it's been a struggle. I've been having trouble. My heart rate's been much higher than it's supposed to be for my 10-mile runs, which are usually not that hard for me, right? And I've had to drop my pace, and it's just been, it was really hard, actually, you know, than what I'm used to. I've been running 40-mile plus weeks for, gosh, like close to 6 months, really, like with very few breaks in between. And so I sort of expect that from myself. And so I didn't let myself off the hook, but I was having some trouble completing the run. Just, you know, the thoughts that go through your head where you want to give up, where you're like, you know, I don't want to go on. Like, is it worth it? Right? Maybe I should just live a normal life and not do this crazy shit. Like, why, you know, just eat some fucking pizza and watch TV and not go running for 2 hours, like 4 times a week, and fasting till 5 o'clock, all this crazy stuff that I'm doing, right? And what I have to do, I have to snap myself out of it. And sometimes I do this. I just thought I'd give you kind of a technique, and one of the things that I really think about hard that occurred to me while I was running today, while I was having some of those thoughts, is it just occurred to me, it just snapped in my head, like, man, do you remember where you were? Now, I did this video on how my life changed over 7 years, where I was 7 years ago. And in the video, I talked about some of the aspects, but one of the things I don't know if I talked about so much was that I had torn my pec. I know this was way back, and I basically lost my identity. I think I've done a video on this as well. And I got depressed, I just had an identity crisis, and I got fat. I stopped working out, I stopped lifting, right? I got to a really bad place in a lot of areas of my life, really, from a physical standpoint, from a mental standpoint, right? And I just, it was a dark time, a dark place. And I came out of that, right? I mean, I did things to change my life. I dropped like 100 pounds, you know, more than 100 pounds, maybe around that. And I started exercising, started lifting again and running and changing my mindset and becoming a finisher. That was one thing I talked about a lot, right? How important it is to become a finisher. And I turned things around. And now where I'm at now, like when I look back, it's so amazing, such a far transformation. I don't want to fucking go back there. I don't want to go back to what I was. I don't want to fall back. And so, you know, sometimes where you're at now, right? You can get in the mindset, you can get discouraged, you can feel disappointed, you can feel like you're not doing as good as you were or you could be or you should be, and you can get down on yourself. But a lot of times when that happens, you can look back, especially if you've had the kind of transformations or similar, if you've made progress like I have in my life, and you can look back and say, look how far I've come. And that's encouraging. And not only is it looking how far you've come, but it's like climbing up a ladder and looking down and saying, look how far I could fall. That could be me. That used to be me, that fat ass guy who was lazy, right? And was afraid of everything and was socially awkward and had social anxiety, whatever, you know, all these things. That was me. It could be me again. If I fall off this ladder, I could fall down to that point because I've been to that point before. And so it's sort of a scary thing, right? And so that can kind of shock you into saying, look, this, oh, hey, all of a sudden I got second wind when I was running because I'm like, now I'm running from something, right? Because I know that I do not want to go back there. I do not want to. And here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing about making progress and why it's so important to keep pushing on is that if you're not going forward, you are falling fucking backwards, right? You're falling down the hill. If you're not pressing up the hill, you are rolling down the hill. There is no time where you're just stagnant on that hill. It just doesn't happen, right? You got to be putting forth effort. It's just like being on a treadmill, right? You might not be going anywhere. You might not be moving forward on the treadmill, but you got to keep on moving. You got to keep on moving the legs. You got to keep on doing what you're doing and maintaining in order to be able to get the rest, to be able to make that push up that hill again, rather than just stopping. When you stop, when you give up, that's when you just slide right down that hill, right? And you roll backwards. So, you know, it depends on where you're at, right? I mean, some of you, maybe you don't have this transformation. Maybe you've like, your life is more shitty now than it was before. And so you've got your own motivation, which is you want to get back to where things were good. So, you know, fucking let's go back there. Let's do what you need to do to get there. But I think a lot of you probably, especially if you've been watching this channel for a while and you're serious about improving things and improving your life, you've probably made improvements. You've probably made life changes, right? That may be drastic. I mean, mine were hugely drastic. I don't know if hugely is a word, but it is now. But mine were extreme, okay? And so when you look at that, when you look back and you see where you were and where you came from, do you want to go back to that fucking place? A lot of people do that. And so that can really motivate you. For me, that motivates me. Is it's not like I'm not just doing this, right, to advance necessarily. I'm doing this because I know what life was like. I know what I used to be like. I don't want to be that weak, pathetic fucking person that I used to be. And so that requires me to do what I do, to continue on this path. There's a reason. That's a lot of times when you find the why are you doing things, okay, that can really help you to have the motivation, or if not the motivation, the gumption, the grit to stick through it and do it and get it done, okay? So that's what I did, and I got my run done, did the 10 miles, right, and I'm just gonna keep on doing it. I'm gonna keep on pressing forward because I'm not going back. I'm not going back. You can fucking drag me kicking and screaming, but I am not going back to my old life. It's not going to happen, right? And I don't just mean it from a contextual, like financial or environment standpoint. I mean it from a mental standpoint. I mean it from a character standpoint, right? I mean that I have built something. I've built myself, right? And I don't want to change back that way. I want to go forward in progress like we should all want to do. So when you're feeling lazy, just a quick tip for you. Remember, think back on where you've come from and realize, looking down that ladder, that you could fall back. That's what you're capable of if you give up. So giving up is not just like staying stagnant. It's not just quitting. It's falling down the fucking ladder. If you don't want to fall down the ladder, don't give up. You got to press on. So there you go. That's just a technique that I use that helps me. And it's not just a technique. It's the truth, right? This is why it's so impactful, is because it's the reality of the situation. All right. If you like this video, click that subscribe button below if you haven't already. And if you have, well, I thank you. I thank you, Sarah. Take care.